Hi, welcome to ArchiCAD. ArchiCAD is an architectural drafting software program, and it does a lot of really amazing things that we couldn't do with paper and pencil. And I'll just start by talking to you about the toolbar. There are a number of different options that we have for creating things. Over here, if we're going to create walls, we could click on that. End walls, doors, windows, skylights, roofs, and we'll kind of get to that. Up across the top menu are a number of different options, and those options will change based on what it is that we have going on in the view screen. Over here we have the project navigator if you want to look at the first floor or the second floor or different elevations for drafting. That would be how you would get to those. In the case of manipulating this part, if you roll the mouse wheel forward, it zooms in. If you roll it back, it zooms out. If we have this button orbit turned on, then all we need to do is to use the left mouse button and orbit using the left mouse button. Okay, so when we start to use ArchiCAD, what we're going to do is each of these lines is an entity. An entity is a thing that you can hover over, and you can get this particular object in place. But before we do that, if you look at this perimeter around this house, you can see that that is the lot line. And so the first thing you would do if you were going to come in and begin to draft for someone would be to go ahead and assign the lot line and then position the structure on that particular piece of property. What we're going to do though right now is to duplicate this particular home, which is just 24-foot square, and I just kind of want to work with you on that. If you double click on the wall tool, you'll see that there are a number of options here. Number one, you can change the elevation of the wall. You can change the thickness of the wall. You can change which side of the line that particular wall is going to work on. And then over here you can change what the material is. And so we're going to use a common bond on the exterior. We're going to use the default walls interior color, which is right here, interior, and same here. If you wanted to tie those all together and make everything in English common bond brick pattern, you could just click that, and what that does is chain all those together. I don't want to do that, so I'll click OK. And so what I want to do then, if you'll notice that the settings for the wall are all up along this options menu right here. And you can not only double click on the wall settings right here, but you can also change those settings in this ribbon also. So what I'll do then first is to hover over this corner, and you'll see some blue dashed lines that come up. Those are called intuition lines, and so I will hover over those again to get them to show up. And if you move and stay right on those, it will hold you in that position. Then when you click, it will go ahead and start in that position. Now, one of the things that I'm going to roll forward and look a little bit closer. You can see that it's drawing the wall from the center of the wall. And I want to switch that so that we are on the inside of the wall. And so now you can see that that wall is above the dashed line. So I'm just going to simply enter 24 feet here, and it pulls it out to 24. And then I need to click here on this position and go 24 feet again. And I'll click on the outside corner again, and then what's cool is that I can hover over this, pick up an intuition line, follow that intuition line up until it snaps into the 90-degree status, and then I can go ahead and close it like that. Now, one of the things that's also really neat is that if I'm going to do a wall setting and I want to go from the center, if I hover over this, you can see that there's a little bit of a hash mark that it gets picked up with. And so then I'll hover over this one, and you can see the hash mark there. And so I'll slide down to here, and then I'll pick it up and put it in like that. So now I have got the architecture of the walls, set up the design of the walls, and I will switch by hitting the F3 button, which will now show us how this looks. And so I will hit escape to pick up the pointer, and I'll select this wall here. And I will right click on that wall because we don't want a brick on the inside. And so we're going to go to Default Walls Interior and OK, and switch that back to the internal paint color, and wall selection settings again, and I will also set that back to the interior paint color. So now we've got a situation where we've got two identical houses. If I want to orbit, I can pick up the orbit tool and I can look and I can see that everything so far is working. So at this point we'll switch back to the two-dimensional floor plan, and we'll go ahead and pick up some doorways. So I'll pick up on the door tool and double click, and the first one I'll put in is this entrance door here. And so I'm going to leave the default settings. We'll come back and talk about those later, but I just want to pick up this door that has a light on each side of it and click OK. Now it's interesting, you can put this door right where you want it. Now I actually have it a little bit too far on the left side, so it's placing based on the center of the door. So I hit escape and maybe I want to go here. Now if I put the eye on the inside, that means the door is going to open on the inside, and if I put it on the left side, the door hinge is going to be on the left side. So, and that would be how we would want this. So I click to place and let me Control Z to get rid of it, and let's say that I wanted it to open. I would hover, if I wanted it to open to the outside, I would hover in this position. I'll Control Z that again. And if I wanted the door hinge to swing down, then I would put the eye in this position, and I'll Control Z again, selecting this wall. And if I wanted the door to swing to the right, I would put the eye in this position. So that's basically how you do that. However, I still do just want it right there like that. And so then I will pick up my door tool again by double clicking the door tool, and I'm going to just pick a standard entrance door with no lights on it and click OK. So then in this case what I need to do is to put a door here with a hinge on this side, and that should take care of my doors with the exception of an internal door. I'll put it here with the hinge in that location. So now I'll pick up the windows, not the corner, but this particular window, and I'm going to pick up a double casement window and click OK, and I will put a window here. The eye always looks in, so if the inside of the window is wherever the eye is. So if I pop one window there, I can pop another window here, another window here, another window here, one here, and one here. So it really is quite quick in terms of putting in the different pieces. If at this point I hit F3, now we can see how all of the different windows work. And so something that is left to do, and I'll go back to F2, is to put a roof on. So what I will do is to go to the roof tool, and I am going to use a 10-12 pitch. At this point this is kind of irrelevant. I do need to have my roof setting exactly at the elevation of the wall. So if I have 10-foot walls and I put the roof at 8 feet, the wall is going to stick through the roof. So you'll have to kind of watch that. I do have it set on shingles, which is the asphalt shingle, and then the inside of it is white. So I'll go ahead and I will click OK. So at this point what it's going to do is it's saying enter first node of roof polygon. If you look down here, it will give you a quick tip in the lower left hand corner about what to do next. It will prompt you on what to do next. So I'm going to hover over this corner, I'm going to go to this corner, and I'm simply drawing the perimeter that is to be covered by this particular type of roof. And so right now it asks me again what the elevation is. That's correct. I do want a vertical fascia on this one, which is the board that you would hang a gutter on, and then I want to have an overhang of 16 inches, and so I'll click OK, and it immediately puts that roof on there. So if I go to F3, now I can see that I've got two identical buildings. So it's very, very quick at putting together the basic features. So at this point, you should go ahead and experiment on your screen and do this very same type of work.